Hi everyone, and welcome to the second part of the series of masterclasses that we're doing on the platform, where I go through how to utilise the platform and give you better understanding and insights and how you can extract better data and better understanding of market performance and also listing performance in order for you to perform better in your SA business. So this series is going to look at how we can look at high-level market performance and also looking at underneath the booking demand within that area and try and understand whether our market's going through a growth period of consolidation, or if there's any other factors influencing that market that you should be aware of, and how you can look at our data and our charts to pull those either flags, red flags, green flags out in order to maybe help you investigate further or try and find the reason for those differences in data and give you just better insight in how you can look at certain graphs and get certain insights that might not be obvious at first, that myself and our team of experts have built over the years and understand where you can find these additional bits of data that others might miss or just look over. And that kind of builds on, obviously, the first part of the series. We looked in depth at how you can analyse and find hotspots within markets, and also how you can analyse individual listings using search and comparables, and also using evaluation tools. This is going to be a much more high-level market due diligence process rather than an individual listing due diligence. Both are equally as important, but are both just two different types of due diligence process. You can either carry out one or the other, or both combined. Obviously, both combined is a lot more beneficial and safer before doing any deal. And I'm going to get straight into it. The first thing to note is, if you've watched the previous masterclass or you have an understanding of how to use the locations and build your own custom locations, you might want to just skip forward the next couple of minutes, because I'm going to go through again how you can utilise the areas and draw custom areas, just because it's specifically important to this demo. We want to make sure that everyone has a good understanding of how to access and build their own areas in order to then access the dashboard. So just to get into that now, with the app, you have two types of ways to build a dashboard, using either our predefined locations, or you can use a custom location you can build yourself. And our power users use more custom locations, which gives them a better ability to customize what's in that dashboard, and also allows them to cover multiple predefined locations in order to build a more exact dashboard to the market they're looking to get a better understanding of. So first I'm going to take you through how you can search and find predefined areas, and then we'll switch to how you can build custom areas. Both are very simple, and sometimes just takes a bit of getting used to. So the first thing to note is, to search for areas, you can come up to the top bar at the top, and within here you have, off the bat, a number of options. So you have recent searches and nearby locations. So what that will do is we'll give you an option of all your recent searches, so all the areas you've recently looked at, and then it'll also give you all your nearby locations as well. So, and then on the right hand side, you've got your saved locations, but we'll come on to that a bit later. So in order to search for location, you need to know the exact name of that location. For example, if we want to do Edinburgh, you can search all of Edinburgh, or you can put in Old Town. And you also have to be exact with how you search. So that can be quite complicated at first, especially if you don't know the areas you're trying to look for. So we would always suggest the best way to find locations and to search for locations is using the search with map. So when you press search with map, all that happens is on the right hand side, a map will appear with a tab of larger locations and small locations. It will always default to smaller locations. And then from there, you can then click on any of these locations, and that will update your dashboard for that location. So you can scroll anywhere in the UK, as well as Northern Ireland, and you can just click on whatever location you're looking for. So for example, if we go into Manchester and we look at, say, Trafford, we've clicked that, it's updated on the map, and it's also updated, you can see on the screen, and you can see up at the top it says Trafford, Manchester. You can then save this location by pressing the love heart here, And what that will do is that will then save it. So next time you log in, or even later in your workflow today, as soon as you click on the search bar, under your saved locations is going to appear. And then you can just click that, and it will load up straight away that custom location. No, not custom location, sorry, that saved location. So that's your kind of two ways in which you can search for the predefined areas. You've got either search by name if you know the name of the predefined area. If you don't, use the map, visually just click on the area you're looking for, and it'll update, and then you can save it. If we're going forward, now, whether you want to create a location because you want to be within a predefined area, or you want to spread across multiple predefined areas, you can then create custom locations. So to do that, we've come to Manchester. I used this example in the first masterclass as well. It's a good example because it covers 3 different areas. What we've got is Media City, the Keys, Trafford Centre, Old Trafford Cricket Ground, Old Trafford Football Ground, all over this area here. Now, as you can see, from the area of Trafford we've selected, it doesn't cover Media City or this area to the right. And if we go to the map, we can see what areas do. So we can see that it actually is covered by 2 different areas. You've got Manchester East and Salford. So within there, there's 3 different locations. But say we wanted to analyse this circle in here, we have to create a custom location. And to do that, it's dead easy. You just come over to the map, you scroll to the location you're trying to build the custom location on. So let's go into Manchester. You can see here you've got Media City, Old Trafford, etc. of this area, and this used to be over 3 different locations. So now we can just go custom. We can draw a wide area or small area, whatever you prefer. Once that finishes, you'll then see up at the top right, it'll then say good to go. That means if there's too many listings, it won't let you build it. But if there's also too little, it won't let you build it. So you have to either make the area bigger or smaller. And then you just need to press update your application. And what that'll do is that then create all these tabs, and also you can see map data here and also in map view will all be correlated to that saved location. Sorry, that custom location. Now, if that's an area that you want to come back to in the future and you want to analyse over time, you can save that location. So you just come up to the save button here, and you can then just press and then put, let's say, Media City. Save, and then if we then come out of here and say go back to Glasgow and come back in here, we can then see your saved locations, and we can then come down to Custom Media City Masterclass 2, click that, and again we'll see this dashboard opens up straight away, which is perfect, exactly what we want. So I'm now going to move into, now that's done, we're going to look at how we can use the dashboard and extract information for this. So now we're in Glasgow, we're in the city centre, we're in that predefined location, and we're sitting in the dashboard. So there's multiple different pieces of information we want to extract to understand how that market's made up in terms of revenue, structure, in terms of the type of listings, etc. So we can see that there's currently an active supply of 1,100 listings in the area. Now, active supply is based on the number of listings that have had a booking within the previous 2 months. So if a listing's not had a booking in the previous 2 months, that won't be included as an active listing, and it also won't be included in the listings on the right hand side. We can then look at the rental sizes. So the majority of the market is made up between 1 and 2 bedroom properties. We can also look at the amenities, reviews, and percentage of properties that are available booked and their minimum stay requirements. We can also have a brief understanding of occupancy, revenue, and average daily rate. And from this, we can see pretty early on your average daily rate is considerably higher in August than it is in January. The same for occupancy. and same for revenue. So we can see, we will go into more detail about seasonality, but just from those indicators we can see it's a summer seasonal location with low season in the winter. We can then go into rates. So the first rates tab is looking all about your ADR. So within here we can also filter this down, so you can look at what ADR has been achieved for, say, budget, economy, mid-scale locations, as well as upscale and luxury listings. We can then press the filters tab here, which will then bring up the filters, so you can filter down by number of bedrooms, average rating, listing type, property type, etc. Or if you predefined saved presets, you can apply those as well. And make sure just after you've added those filters, you press the active listings button down at the bottom, which will then activate those filters and apply them to the page. But again, if we start looking at the top, it breaks down into budget and luxury. So we can see your budget properties are achieving around £90 a night in high season and 82 in low season. In the same luxury, we can see 257 in July and 221 in March. So that's your two ends of the market, and the seasonality of those two ends of the market. You can look in more detail at these different rates as well by just hovering over the chart, also just a general average daily rate as well, and you can pull all that chart data into a CSV just by clicking that downward arrow as well. You can also do the same for revenue, and this gives you the average monthly revenue of properties. You can see the disparity between houses and apartments, and you can look at different percentiles of the market. You can look at, say, the 90th percentile. In high season, they're achieving an average revenue of 5,000, whereas the lowest percentile are down at 1,100. And then we look at total market revenue. So again, we can see how that total market revenue shifts by season. We can also see the total market revenue hasn't really changed in the last 2 years. So you can see this summer just been, in 2023, achieved roughly the same total market revenue as the year previous, a slight increase by, well, actually a slight decrease by 30,000, 27,000. So that's our first indication that the market in Glasgow is a bit stale. Now there's things to remember, especially up in Glasgow. There's been regulations that have been imposed, so a lot of listings could be coming off the market, which is why it's contracted slightly. Again, it's good to get a better understanding of what reasons are behind it, but we'll look at that in a couple of minutes in a different chart. You can also see here revenue by bedroom. You can see your average revenue by bedroom. Your 4-bedroom properties are somewhat above in certain months 5 bedrooms. So we can see potentially there's no actual benefit in having a 5-bedroom property compared to a 4-bedroom property. 4-bedroom properties might be larger in demand in this area for whatever reason. Maybe it's stag do's, hen do's, whatever. But you can see there's definitely a marked difference in revenue for a 4-bed property over a 3-bed property. So if you're looking, say, from a rent-to-rent point of view, if you're looking for a buy point of view, and you're currently thinking, should I go for a 3-bed, or can I convert an office or something into a 4th bed and turn the property from 3-bed into a 4-bed, that's definitely something that you should consider. And also you can look at it from the point of view, if you have a 5-bed, can you look at the 5-bed and say, do we take a bedroom out and add some amenity, maybe, I don't know, golf simulator, games room, or something that's going to attract a higher ADR as a 4-bedroom, because say there's not actually as much demand in the market for 5-bedroom properties, but there's a lot more ADR available at 4-bedroom if you can put yourself at the top of that market. We can then look at occupancy, which gives you general market occupancy. We can also get good insights here into the length of stay and also booking lead time. So we can see length of stay doesn't really vary across the year, but the average length of stay in this market is around 4 days, with a booking lead time of 46 days. But we're seeing in off-season, your average is around 34 days, but actually in high season, we're seeing booking lead time of, on average, around 73 days, which is kind of normal for high season properties and listings. But yes, that gives you good insight how far out bookings are being made, depending on what season. So if you are picking up the property in low season, or you're picking up the property in high season, you're worried about your low season bookings, not filling up the same way as high season was. With this data, you can have a better understanding. Okay, on average, okay, occupancy is down in low season in ADR, but also bookings are coming a lot closer to that booking date on average during that period. Another really important chart in occupancy is down at the bottom, and that's booking demand. So booking demand is a great way to get insight into the size of a market, especially if you're filtering down. So if you're filtering this market down to, say you've got a custom location and you're filtering this down by rating bedrooms, guests, and amenities, you can get a very good understanding of how big that market is and if that market's been growing or slowing over a certain period of time with this chart. So booking demand gives you the number of properties being booked within that month and also the number of listing nights being booked within that month, and that will tell you how big a market is. So with occupancy for two markets could be, say, 50% in both markets. But if one market is 50% but with only 100 listings, but Glasgow is, say, 50% with 1,000 listings, they're two very different markets, depending on what property you're trying to put into that market. So, for example, if you were looking at a block of 4 flats, a block of 5 flats, or even you're looking at something bigger, you've got to be aware of the size of the market. Because if you're going to flood in an extra, say, 3-4% supply into that market, that could shift your occupancy or ADR. Whereas if you're going into a much bigger market, it'll soak up that extra supply a lot easier, and you should be able to rely a lot more on the data you're seeing without adding to oversupply in the market. But we can see here a pretty stagnant market in Glasgow. A growth market would be able to compare, for example, we're looking, say, August, there was 2,000 properties booked and 32,000 listing nights booked. Where we're looking at August this year, there's a dramatic drop down to only 26,000 listing nights booked. So we're looking at a drop of about 5,000 nights being booked in this area, and that could be for several reasons. That could be because of properties pulling out of the market, or it could just be a contraction in terms of demand. But if we come up to our charts up here, we can start to see occupancy slightly rising, but we're also seeing active properties are dipping. So we can see it's more looking like that the introduction of the regulations are starting to play a role and starting to pull down the supply in the market, which might eventually in turn lead to higher ADR in the future if you can get the license and get the regulation that is being imposed in the area. We can also look at seasonality. We can look at monthly RevPAR and get a better understanding of what seasonality is taking place in the area, what months are high season, what months are low season. We've already looked at a couple of indicators that are pretty obvious that Glasgow is very much high season in the summer, low season in the winter. Some areas, some more central city areas, don't really have as much seasonality, such as the larger cities down in England. Whereas we can see here, your RevPAR is predominantly higher for your months of June, July, August, and then dips down, February being your poorest month, and then again pulling back up during May, June, July, August. You can also see again what we mentioned earlier in terms of booking lead time. We can see that the majority of properties are booked with an average lead time of 77 during July, which is your highest in terms of time out being booking a listing, and then we can look at January as our lowest month in terms of lead time. Now, we've looked at all the historical data, we've looked at rates, revenue, booking demand, active listings, whether or not a market's contracting or expanding. We've seen that, for example, in the Glasgow city area, we can see there's been a contraction of listings, which have also led to a slight contraction in the number of booking nights and booked properties. But again, we've looked at as this potential regulatory issue. But from a positive point of view, what we've not seen is a contraction or stagnation in booking demand, while active listings have actually increased, because that'd be more negative in terms of there being too much oversupply in the market. So what we're now going to look at, that's all historical data. Now we're going to look at how we can understand the market's performance, and from looking at future data, we can look at what the calendar's looking like for the next 6 months and try and pull out some information about booking characteristics, and if we're about to take on a property, where we might be able to get a high ADR, and where the kind of the prime weekends and seasons are within an area. So we can go to pacing for that. Once you come into pacing, you can see on booking demand, future demand analysis, we have a line and a bar chart. So the bar chart represents the occupancy, meanwhile the line chart represents the average daily rate of all booked properties. Sorry, the median daily booked rate of booked properties. So we can see here, on an average area, you're going to have spikes at the weekends where there's higher demand. So we can see here occupancy at the weekends, spikes. And again, we can see that, especially here during the festive period where people are maybe coming for Christmas parties to visit relatives, etc. We can start to see high spikes. Meanwhile, during the week, it's still relatively low occupancy. But then as we move forward, we can actually see there's a big chunk of demand in this area here, where there's abnormally high occupancy for this time of year, and we can see it then falls off a cliff all the way down to 20% current occupancy after in the first week of January, one of the lowest weeks of the year in terms of occupancy. So we can see this is actually the festive period, so that's coming all the way from Friday 22nd of December all the way through to past New Year into 31st and 1st of January, where we can then see it tail off. So again, it gives a good insight into what that future calendar is, what the bookings are like. You can understand how busy is the market, how pre-booked is that market, and if not, you can take advantage of high ADRs. For example, if there was a concert or an event happening in February, you could potentially see the spikes here as well, and you can understand, okay, if I'm launching in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to take advantage of that. The market's already at high occupancy, so we'll be able to take advantage of that and get above normal ADR on that weekend, or however long the event is running. Then look at your rate analysis, and you can look at also booking trends in terms of when those listings are being booked, whether or not it's in what time period. And you can also, if you want to understand the top performers in the area, you can look at the top properties, and you can filter that down. And you can filter that by average revenue, average daily rate, and see who's achieving the best revenue, the best daily rate in that area, whether it's custom area or predefined area that we've used here. I'll go back to overview just before I round up. So in today's masterclass, we've kind of gone in depth on how you can look at high level factors in there. We've looked at seasonality. We've looked at, is a market contracting? Is it expanding? Is there fundamental underlying causes for those contractions and expansions? Is it still a safe market to enter? In terms of, is there underlying demand for the market, and whether that will then hold up through to the listing level analysis that we did in the first masterclass. We've then also confirmed seasonality through RevPAR, and then following that we've then had a quick look at what's happening in the next 6 months in the market. Is there any events? Is there any spikes in demand that we should be aware of? Is there anything that we can take advantage of by entering the market sooner or later, etc. So yeah, I think this was a good masterclass, especially to get your teeth into a different style of due diligence. I know a lot of people mainly focus on the listing level analysis, which is very important, but it's also important to have an understanding of the market and the health of the market that you're entering, not just the similar comparables that are around your property. So yeah, I'm going to round up that for today. Again, if anybody has any questions, or if they have any questions when they're using the platform, you can just reach out to one of the team. Just use the search bar on the bottom right hand side, their warehouse is, and you should be able to contact them on the team. They'll normally get back to you within a couple of hours, if not within 24, and answer any questions that you might have.